Muslim Civil War Part 2. And I'm no expert, I'm probably wrong on some stuff, and I'm sorry for my bad English. Well, here we have a map. And the percentage, the number is how large of the population is Shiite. And I think this is really important for understanding the stuff that I was speaking about in the other video about Iran, Turkey, Saudi Arabia, to a lesser degree, but I guess they are involved, Israel and Egypt, and of course fight over Levant, the country in Levant, and of course the country themselves also fight and have tried to influence parts, and of course outside players of the region also influence what's happening. America is bombing ISIS. And interesting, I think, is Iran and Saudi Arabia and Turkey, they have different religion and are core, and the Levant is split. Iraq is somewhat Shia, a majority. Syria is not that much, Libya is 50-50. You can see Pakistan, Afghanistan, it's not very strong. But then you have tribal, maybe you can call it, divisions too, that make it easier to divide and conquer that region. Yemen, pretty big. Libya isn't shown, but it doesn't really have to be shown, I guess, because it's Sunni, as good as I know. And of course we have the southern part of the Persian Gulf, as you can see, Saudi Arabia's Shiites and Bahrain. In that region they are majority. I don't know, Kuwait, yeah, Kuwait is not, seems to not have that big. As you can see, and that's what I think. So we have Bin Laden, and of course the Iranian Revolution, and all that. Then we have the invasion. Then we have this split up between Sunni and Shia. It's like a bomb. Well, as you can see, the core nations have a pretty good majority religion, but the country in Levant is not. And then we have Yemen also divided, and we have Afghanistan and Pakistan, who is ethnically divided. Of course, Pakistan is not really fair because they're more. It's not really civil war, but like, I don't know. I don't know enough. Just Pakistan is not the safest country in the world. Let's say it like that. I'm pretty sure everyone agree. Here's the map, what I in the previous YouTube video shown, but yeah, I don't know. It's the same. And you can show like the core regions are stable, and they are moving in power to the unstable region, and they are clashing there. And then set up proxies, and it seemed like a good way of motivating people is to use. Of course, it's kind of hard for Saudi Arabia or Iran to motivate people in their direction. In, for example, Syria or Iraq. Of course, there are Arabs, but I guess there are some difference between Saudi Arabia and Syria, Arabs, and Iraq Arabs. I don't know how big difference there are, and there's certainly a difference between Persians and Arabs. So then you have to use the other one you can use, the religion card. So that's how you build up these proxies. And of course, I'm not. There seems to be some misunderstanding that, oh, Hezbollah is 100% controlled by Iran. ISIS was built up by this and this. Of course, Iran can influence, Saudi Arabia can influence their proxies, but you never know. Just look at some allies over the years, like South Vietnam. What I remember of it was that it was a coup because the Americans didn't like the general who was leading the country. He said he was going to do different stuff, but he never did it. He more or less just steal after South Vietnam. So you never have 100% control of the proxies, and you never know in which direction these proxies will develop. One thing I think is interesting to ask is, why does ISIS have all these names? Well, I don't really know the answer, but I guess that the name is... Many states are terrified of ISIS, of actually being able to have a big support by the citizens. For what? Why are the names so dangerous? It's a question I wonder. I don't know. Some other points I think is interesting to ask yourself, or ask, is like, where is China? Where is Russia? Or do they have an interest in keeping the conflict going on so the United States is locked down in the Middle East? I think that Russia and China supports the Iran movement or Iran camp, and United States support the other side. It's a bit terrible, because I think it should be neutral, or somewhat neutral at least. Because I have a hard time understanding why Iran is so dangerous. I do not understand that. I think it's... I mean, Iran is not the paradise or anything. But why is Iran so much more dangerous than other countries? And this stupid question like, oh, if Iran gets a nuclear weapon, it's going to destroy Israel with the nuclear weapon. The same second that they got the nuke, it's gonna bomb Israel. Why would it do that? It does not make any sense. Or am I stupid? Maybe I am. I do not understand it. I mean, Israel have own nukes. The United States have their own nukes. And what do Iran gain by nuking Israel? I don't see it. So the Palestinian can reclaim Israel, but it can't live there. What's the point of that? And I also wonder, Iran seems to me be the major enemy to Iran is Saudi Arabia, and Iran has a lot bigger population, so it seems to me that nuclear power does not allow a region to have a lot of nukes. It's locked down borders, not the opposite. Expansion, nukes limited expansion. And if Iran wants to expand, which I'm not certain of, why would it want the region to lock down? So of course Saudi Arabia can get their own nuke, and has said it's going to get its own nukes if Iran gets the nukes. So what's the point of getting nukes in that case? Of course to protect yourself, but I don't know. The image of Turkey and Saudi Arabia seems, I mean, it's strange. You almost hear more about negative about Turkey than you hear about Saudi Arabia. But it's like any comparison, it's like you can't even compare, even though Turkey may have some internal problem and have it for a long time, and maybe it's become more democratic, but in the same way less value democratic these days. And of course Iran is run by the devils and it's a dictatorship, and Saudi Arabia, it's ruled, it's a nice guy there. I don't understand it. What I think is that it's a lot of propaganda against Iran. And I think a part of the reason is maybe the United States allied between Turkey, Saudi Arabia, Egypt, Israel, and some other countries in the region is maybe very fragile. So it needs an enemy to confront, and then you got Iran. And also I think about, when you look at Iran, yes, it's not democratic, but in the same way it seems to be somewhat stable, and it seems to promote democratic. I mean, if you look at Europe, especially the western part, because the eastern part was pretty much democratic fast, it didn't happen overnight. It took several years, 100 years in some areas. And the women got to vote very late, and America's women didn't allowed to vote in the beginning. The blacks didn't allow to vote. The poor wasn't allowed to vote in Europe. All this, it was a development in stages, and I think or maybe I am fooled by Iranian propaganda. It's hard to know. Anyway, I think I stop now.